What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're at McCutcheon Disc Golf Course, 18 holes, par 55, almost 5,800 feet. We're starting off with hole 1, par 3, 199 feet. It's probably shorter than that. You're going to have to put your DGA goggles on because these mock baskets are hard to see.
Ooh, what a treat.
Try and zoom in on them, like generally, to give you an idea. Lots of fast greens here, where landing 10-15 feet short of the basket is the best option. I was trying to ace it, and I ended up 45 feet to the left down by the lake. The lake is pretty low right now, luckily, otherwise there's a chance I lose that disc if the lake was more full. It is on Lake Lewisville, also called Lake Park. But moving on to hole 2, par 3, 251 feet. This one is blind, so you want to make sure that there's not park goers or people hanging out enjoying themselves by the lake as best you can, or at least make sure there's not another card there. Mine was tracking pretty nicely till I hit that tree, and again, almost found myself in the lake. This is the line you want, though. I'm not sure what disc he's throwing, but he got the CTP today. This is, we're playing the club opener for the Lewisville Disc Golf Club, and he got the closest to pin. So that's the line. You know, cheating lefty stuff, you know. On to hole 3, par 3, 300 feet. Plays a little more than that. You've got, for big arms, you've got that gap over the water you can go with, or if you're lefty, or you have a mean forehand, most people are going to play up the right gap. Got all these little trees to contend with.
That's usually my tree. Like you've been saying, that's my tree there.
Doing an instinct here, and I get lucky. I kiss off that tree behind my head and skip it forward still. So pretty happy about that. But yeah, this is down on the beach, so you've got sand to deal with. The basket is up on this plateau. Lots of rocks, lots of exposed roots, so sometimes you'll settle, sometimes you'll get nasty kicks and rolls as you kind of bounce down the hill. But yeah, pretty green. Hole 4, par 3, 335 feet. I always go with a backhand turnover, but this is definitely a left-hand backhand or right-hand forehand hole. I have yet to find that like perfect line to really reach it with backhand turnover. But I also don't play this course a bunch. I've only maybe played here a dozen times or so. I'm sure the locals could dispense a lot of sweet knowledge on it. That was an instinct into a headwind. I really don't know how that didn't turn over, but I'm pretty sure I got saved by that trash can, because there's a sidewalk that the tripod is standing on. Don't pay attention to the shot. I'm just trying to zoom in on the basket so you can kind of see it. Dangerous green for sure. Hole 5, par 3, 299 feet. This is one of my favorite holes on the course. You got to make it around that leaning tree that's lit up by the sun really nicely. I usually try and throw an alpha, kind of at that cedar tree on the right, and just break and fade and skip right into the green. If you haven't played this course, if I didn't already say this, Lake Park is the other name that it goes by. But super fun course, and I highly recommend playing it in the wintertime if you haven't played here before, because it's the most forgiving, and you have a better chance of seeing the baskets. Because I've been on this tee pad before where you can't see the basket. and you can barely see it today. And all the trees and almost all the bushes are empty. Yeah, so I leaked. Well, I kicked off a tree, but this is where you can end up if you don't quite get the distance or you go a little too stable. But again, with it being wintertime and the course being a little thinner, I'm able to work something up through this gap. But if you make it around that tree, this is the green, a couple of guardian trees, hard packed ground. One of many fast greens here, but you are kind of skipping up into it, so that helps with speed control. Hole 6, par 3, just under 400 feet. Got a little rise in the middle here, elevation-wise. And this ends up tickling some branches and kind of dying early, but that is almost straight at the basket. It's a Ballista Pro Air out of my dad. Justin repping his mountain sports gear.
250. I'm still figuring it out.
So that's where his ended up. And this green is slightly elevated. It's got some like railroad tie retaining walls keeping it up. So yeah, this is where my drive ended up. Just trying a little jump putt layup, get around those little branches. Hole 7, par 3, 364 feet. Very calm day today, so it's super forgiving, but this is kind of an infamous hole. Lots of lost discs here. Throwing an Eternal Alpha high on hyzer so it can't turn over. Kind of playing that stall hyzer. Justin's going with a dedicated water destroyer. Is spiked in nicely. I've seen many lost discs on this hole.
Why I call it the whole 7 disc.
One time I threw a river. I don't know what I was thinking.
Throw?
And it flipped over really bad, and it ended up landing right side up. Again, don't pay attention to this garbage upshot. I'm just zooming in on the basket for you. But that river ended up landing on the lake upside down and floating, and I just sat there and waited for the wind to blow it in, and I got it back. Hole 8, par 3, 207 feet. There's a couple of Mando trees that are marked, establishing this gap that you need to hit here. So definitely pay attention to those. And this is the beginning of what is called the Gauntlet. I'm going MD3. This is a new MD3. On hyzer, it's kind of the perfect disc for this hole. I undercommitted a little bit, but I'm on the green. Yeah, so this is the beginning of what's called the Gauntlet. Most people consider it the hardest part of the course. Justin ringing it up from deep. There we go. That was my last putt of the day. I'm excited.
Feel good about my round.
Good way to finish the round. Hole 9, par 3, 245 feet. This is an aggressive left to right hole. Lefty or forehand. It's definitely the play. I've seen forehand roller.
You and your lefty throw.
I'm going to go backhand meteor turnover. Yeah, so I said on that last hole that was my last putt of the day because this was our starting hole, so it's still early. That's why we're all wearing coats again.
It's not a fun hole to start on.
Yeah, if you can make it through 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, even, kicking butt. You're saving yourself a bunch of strokes. So this is a look kind of from the corner. down into the green. I was a little sawed off. It was a little more to the left of that before the tree kick even. It's kind of under those cedars. Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm to the left of the basket putting back at it. So yeah, this is what you're dealing with. It's kind of a, I would say it's a poke and pray kind of hole. I mean, there's gaps, but there are a lot of trees. So yeah, there's the basket. You got your DGA mock goggles on. Hole 10, par 3, 330 feet. I think this is a more gentle left to right hole than the map indicates. At least to start. It does have a dog leg at the end, but the whole fairway is kind of working itself left to right. This is good, and then it just kisses off that tree. I guess this is a similar hole, it's just stretched out more, but I play it backhand turnover. Usually I didn't put enough on that passion to flip it. Again, this is our second hole, so not quite warmed up yet. But backhand turnover gives you a look to get into this green. Trees are getting a little bigger on this one. There is a creek deep of the basket from this camera angle and on the left if it's been raining a bunch recently. Hole 11, par 3, 307 feet. This is another one of my favorite holes on this course because it's really fair. It is a straight to hyzer for lefties or straight to turnover for righties. It is a fun little hole. The passion didn't turn over on the last hole enough, so I give it a little more oomph. Overturn it. Kick off to the left. Justin's going Midnight Prowl. One of those meta origins, and he did a great job. So yeah, this is kind of just outside of circle 2 on the left side of the fairway, zooming in on the basket. That was short and right. Sorry for the sun, but you can see Justin on the left where the lighting is kind of bad. That is where his mid-range ended up. Good 2 to pick up. Marking himself a CTP. Did not stick, which isn't surprising. This is, especially the locals there. They're putting this one much closer. But still a fun hole to get. Hole 12, par 4. 540 feet. It's kind of a tweener hole. Like a 3 definitely feels like a birdie, but a 4 feels like a bogey. You got an OB road on the left to watch out for, and then you've got that creek on the right. It's dry today. Going alpha, a little high, and I don't even know what gap I found. Sneaking through the tree branches, and then, if that wasn't lucky enough, it dug. Instead of skipping onto the road, Justin's going with that Midnight Prowl again, and it did not hold the ante. It fought out of it at the end and got him on the road over there. So the green slopes from right to left down into that creek channel. Going with a meteor here, and I overcommitted. I was nervous doing what Justin did, where it kind of stalls and goes to hyzer and ends up in the road. So I overcommitted and I ended up in the rough back over there. Really with nothing to work with, even though I'm only like 28 feet from the basket. I'm just having to pitch out and happy to not have a roll away because this green can definitely do that. So hole 13, par 3, 442 feet. If you pause it, you can see there's some water on that UDisc map. Sometimes when the lake is full, the left part of this fairway, the lower part next to the road, actually gets backed up with water from the lake. And I tried too hard. Released it low. New form's feeling good though. I just can't. Tried too hard. So yeah, this is where I ended up. Ended up having yet another bad upshot, but I'm just kind of zooming in on the basket so you can see it's next to that grouping of trees. Kind of like that, see, Joe making a good putt there. From the tee, there's typically a dumpster that the line of sight, the basket is short of the dumpster. And then, yeah, you have the road, OB deep from the basket. Hole 14, par 3, 230 feet. Kind of blind. The basket is behind this group of trees over here. Lefties kind of have the advantage on this hole because it takes the OB line out of it. That rope that lines the parking spots, that is an OB line. And again, hard pack green is very easy to skip OB. So yeah, Justin sawed it off a little bit. He skips OB, and I'm just stepping to the right and to the left to get a glimpse at the basket. Going with my newer Bobcat here, which was a mistake. Should have gone with the old one, or should have thrown it better. And it skips OB as well. Found a car. So yeah, nothing exciting here going on, just a whiffed putt. But that's what the green looks like. Hole 15, par 3, 334 feet. This is a fun hole. Never treats me very well, but I like it. I was almost CTP. I think another lefty got it. Yeah, that's the play right there. Just a little backhand turnover. I'm getting aggressive here. I'm taking the inside line. Something flippy, and I flipped it a little too much. But that's how playing aggressive works.
I meant to go inside.
Justin's going forehand with... not sure what that was. Yeah, so here's where Joe ended up. Smoked that a little bit, but that's the basket tucked into the trees back there. On to hole 16, par 3, 362 feet. You've got OB all along the left side you got to worry about. And then you got a bunch of trees to worry about. Other than that, you get to grip it and rip it on this one. And Justin tickled a tree and
Justin, you are just
kicked OB.
so his name became OB.
Oh no.
Ballista Pro Air out of my dad here.
Have you ever played for
And like most lefties, his angles are good. I think this is a Cloudbreaker 3. Maybe it was a Big Z Zeus. I don't know. It was bad. It fought through, but it was bad. Again, just trying too hard. So the berg I'm throwing here, it goes right over the basket. There it is. But luckily it was a berg, so it didn't skip too far. Yeah, that's where that Ballista Pro ended up. Hole 17, par 3, 413 feet.
Joe's got the box for 2 holes.
Yeah, OB parking for the apartments on the left.
If I keep hitting trees or
You got some bushes up on the left that eventually protect you from OB, but they're not fun to putt out of. And then you've got some bushes deep that you'll have to worry about on your upshot, because though this fairway does have a lot of grass on it, right around the basket it's hard packed dirt, so it's very easy to skip deep. This is Big Z Zeus, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, so there's the basket down there. It's just to the left of the post pointing you to hole 18.
Not making fun of.
Yeah, there's some low-hanging branches on this tree, so I'm throwing just a little flexy forehand upshot just to put it close to take a 3. Hole 18, par 3, 224 feet. This is a tricky little hole. So you got OB on the right. If you throw it too straight, the OB comes your way. That tree that Joe just flew around, that's where you want to be. And then you've got thick natural OB on the left, and the tee pad is pretty much a rare righty shot out of Grant. The tee pad is pretty much in a perfect spot to block like big hyzers. That was a lucky kick. That tree kicks a lot of people OB. But back to
Those are the
back,
best kicks, that tree.
Justin and I square it up and stay safe, so that's cool. Yeah, the OB on the, or not OB, the bushes on the left are rough. Like forehand roller was all he had. You still can't quite see the basket, but there's where Joe's drive ended up. Giving him a look at a birdie. That bright green, that's where my upshot ended up. But yeah, thanks for watching. Definitely come check out Old Man or Lake Park or Tom McCutcheon. I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that last name correctly. Yeah, it's a super fun course.
Oh my goodness.
Very challenging. Lots of good lines. Bring a water disc. Yeah, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you out there.